So in beginning any of these formal meditation, mindfulness practices, we invite ourselves to do a few things before we actually start. The first would be to give some attention to your environment. We have some challenges with our small room and the sounds of the ventilation and stuff like that, but at home, for example, you may have a little bit better ability to establish an environment more conducive to paying attention, less distractions, those sorts of things. So do you do what you can to make the environment as conducive to paying attention as you can? Comfortable temperature-wise, comfortable, safe security-wise, comfortable with sounds and other forms of distractions. So having given some attention to our environment, we then take a time to give some attention to the body itself, to invite the body to get as comfortable as it can be as it is. So take a moment with your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. If not, just a soft gaze onto the ceiling, which is perfectly fine. And allowing your attention now to begin to scan through the body to those areas where the body and the floor are in contact. The sensing of the contact points between the body and the floor itself. And ultimately the ground, the earth beneath. Just noticing what it feels like at those contact points. And if you need to make some adjustments for your own comfort, then doing that as well. If you tend to have some discomfort in the small of the back and the knees up isn't helping with that, then perhaps lying on your side can be better, or provide a little bit more comfort, or even sitting. We can even take some time right now to once again sense the breath flowing in and out of the body. Having, if you'd like, a body sense, a felt sense of the breath in the body, moment by moment. With no need to sort of control the breath or have it be one way or another. We're just being aware of the fact that as the breath flows in, something happens that we can feel. The body tends to expand gently outwards on the inhale and tends to soften and fall inward on the exhale. And that this gentle wave or pulsing of the breath is something that we can actually just allow our attention and awareness to ride or be with. And having taken some time preparing the body for practice, we then take some time to prepare the mind. We remind ourselves what it is we're actually doing. We're moving into a practice of paying attention, becoming aware of what's present just right now in this moment. And in this particular practice, we're using the sensory domain of the body as the anchor point for our attention and awareness. Remembering that there may be times when we get distracted, and that's okay. We just bring our attention back over and over again whenever we notice that it has wandered away. And then finally, we would like to take some time to prepare the heart for our practice. It's hard to engage with our attention and our awareness when the heart is unsettled. So, at this time, take a moment and recall for yourself a time, perhaps in the last little while, not too far in the past, when you were the recipient of an act of kindness. Doesn't have to be anything big. Somebody opened the door for you, or somebody smiled, or unexpectedly gave you or brought you a treat. It might even be your pet meeting you at the door when you get home. But as you recall this reception of this random act of kindness, see if you can connect with a felt sense of that. Perhaps even focusing on your own heart center, that sense of opening, that sense of warmth that comes with kindness. Perhaps even taking a moment to sense the warmth and kindness that was in the heart of the other person. And as best as you can, set the intention to bring that same quality of warmth and kindness to your practice through the body scan now. So having prepared the environment, the body, the mind, and the heart, we can then actually turn to the practice of the body scan itself, bringing all of our attention down to the left foot. It's nothing to do with the left foot. We just want to, as best we can, have a felt sense of what it's like in the domain of the left foot just now. Feeling the toes, the sole of the foot, the back of the foot, the heel, perhaps the weight of the foot on the floor. Sensing the temperature of the air or the weight of socks or blankets. But also being willing to turn your attention inward to the inside of the foot, having a felt sense, if you'd like, of the inner domain of the left foot. How do you know you have a left foot without needing to look at it, move it, poke it, or prod it? Just feeling as best you can. And bringing this same quality of bare attention up into the left ankle, the left shin and calf, the left knee and thigh and hip, and exploring this whole domain of the left leg, just as it is in the moment. What sensations might be here right now in the left leg? Or not here, for that matter. It's important to recognize that the absence of a sensation is just as valid an observation as the presence of one. So we don't need to be actually moving to create a sensation. Just sensing and feeling and watching. And of course, if your attention wanders away, then take a moment to identify what it was that distracted you, sound or thinking or sensation or remembering. Smile gently to yourself with the recognition of having been distracted. When you recognize that you're distracted, you're actually back paying attention, which is our overarching intention. So you've succeeded. Smile, reward yourself. And then with that sense of kindness, that gentleness for yourself, returning your attention back to the body, to whatever sensations may or may not be there as you return, just letting the distraction be. No need to actually do anything about the distraction. Just let it be as you bring your attention back. And we work with our distractions in this way over and over and over again. And letting go of awareness of the left leg, drawing attention into the right foot, the right ankle, the lower leg, the knee and thigh and hip, and sensing and feeling the right leg. just as it is right now, as best as you can, suspending any striving, any judging, any expectations of the way things ought to be, should be, or any expectations of the way that you want things to be, and just letting things be as they are, moment by moment, breath by breath. Letting go of awareness of the right leg now and turning attention to the left hand, the thumb and the fingers, the palm and the back of the hand, sensing and feeling and watching. And bringing awareness to the left wrist and forearm, the left elbow and the upper arm, the armpit and shoulder, sensing and feeling and giving your full attention to the left arm and whatever might be present in the way of sensations in this part of the body just now. How do you know you have a left forearm without the need to move it or look at it, poke it or prod it? Similarly, bringing awareness now over to the right hand, the thumb and the fingers of the right hand, the palm, the back of the hand, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, the armpit and shoulder, and sensing and feeling the entirety of the right arm, just as it is in this moment, as best you can. Bringing awareness back with that kind-hearted gentleness whenever you notice that you've been distracted. Smiling gently, perhaps, at the recognition of distraction. And letting go of the right hand and arm altogether now, and bringing all of your attention to the very base of the body, down the area of the pelvis, and the buttocks and the sacrum, the pelvic floor, the organs of the pelvis on the inside and the outside. Just sensing, just feeling. Perhaps having subtle sense of breath moving in and out in this part of the body. And then inviting attention to move up into the area of the lower abdomen, just beneath the belly button, the front of the abdomen here, and around the sides and into the flanks and into the low back. The sensations of this part of the body, front and side and back. The alignment and connection of the lumbar area with the pelvis, the sacrum, and the middle back. The organs of this part of the body. And then bringing attention on up into the upper abdomen, the area of the solar plexus. Really sensing and feeling what's present in this area. The front and the sides, the lower ribs, the back of the ribs, and the middle part of the back. The mid-back, and the alignment of the mid-back with the low back and the upper back. The sensations of this part of the back. The organs of this upper part of the abdomen. These are all things that we can actually give some attention to, sense and feel. With no purpose other than to become familiar with the sensations and feelings of our own body, just as it is. And then bringing awareness up into the chest. Perhaps sensing the lungs filling as you breathe in and emptying as you breathe out. Perhaps sensing movement in the chest with each breath, in the rib cage itself. And sensing the front of the chest, the muscles, the skin, the breasts, the sides of the chest, the back of the chest and the shoulder blades where you're resting on the floor. Even the area between the shoulder blades, the upper back, and its alignment with the mid-back and the neck. As best as you can, again, suspending any judgment of the experience, suspending any striving for things to be different, suspending any expectations, and just engaging in the practice for its own sake. Perhaps in this part of the body, even sensing your own heart beating. Just giving full attention to this moment's experience, just as it is. And then from the chest, bringing attention into the neck, the skeletal structures of the neck, the bones, the joints, the discs, the muscles, the organs of the neck at the front, the thyroid gland, the parathyroid gland, the voice box, perhaps sensing the flow of the breath in and out through here, and maybe even experiencing a swallow or two. And then bringing attention up into the face and the head. Taking a moment to notice the tone of the muscles of the face. Bringing attention to the chin and the jaw, to the teeth and the gums, to the cheeks inside and outside. Sensing and feeling the tongue resting in the mouth. Noticing the lips, upper and lower. The nose, the nostrils, right and left. The back of the nose and the root of the nose. The eyes, right and left. The eyelids, upper and lower, right and left. The eyebrows, right and left. Just sensing and feeling, becoming familiar with this part of the body just as it is right now. The forehead and the ears right and left. How do you know you have a left ear without poking it, prodding it, moving it, or looking at it? And bringing awareness to the center of the forehead between the eyebrows, around the sides of the head to the back of the head, perhaps feeling the weight of your head on the floor, perhaps sensing your own hair and the tone of the muscles of the scalp. And then once again, bringing awareness to the whole body line, from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. Sensing and feeling the whole body. And again, perhaps sensing and feeling the breath flowing in and out like a gentle wave. Bringing some awareness to the spaciousness between you and the body and the floor. So those areas where the body isn't contacting the floor. And to the spaciousness immediately around you. Having a felt sense of your space in the room. The spaciousness of those around you. The space of the room itself in the context of the space of the floor and the building. And then inviting your awareness to extend beyond the building into the outer world, having a felt sense of the spaciousness out there, and how it is actually quite contiguous with the spaciousness in here. So having laid still for a period of time, the body may actually be calling out for some activity. So without allowing your attention to run off somewhere else as best you can, keep being aware of the signals from your body about its needs to, at this time, wiggle or stretch or to move or to reactivate in some way. And just allow the body to do what it needs to do as you continue to pay attention to that full experience of reactivation in the body. Just sensing it, just feeling it, just being aware of the body reactivating itself. And then as you're ready, if you're on your back, you can turn onto your side using the side lying posture for a few breaths, and then very slowly from there, using the side lying posture to transition back into sitting, either on the floor or into a chair.
Thank you so much for participating. Have a good day.